We had such a great response the last time we did a driving video tour for you guys of Roseville, California. We had such great feedback about how much you guys loved being able to see the city from a different perspective that in today's video, we are going to take you on the #1 most requested suburb that we get from you guys on this channel. So today we're going to take you on a driving tour all around Folsom, California.
Let's check it out. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Living in Sacramento channel. We're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team. And on today's video, like Lauren said, we are gonna be taking you from one side of town to the other side of town. We're gonna be giving you a full in-depth driving tour of Folsom, California. We're gonna start in the top or the north section of Folsom. We're gonna take you all the way down to the south section of Folsom. So stick around until the very end because the very last section that we're gonna finish on is gonna be all of the new construction homes that are currently being built in Folsom, California. So we know how much you guys love new construction homes on this channel. So we're gonna be giving you some pros and cons along the way. We're gonna be stopping at some of our favorite spots in Folsom, California, and then we're going to be capturing everything as it relates as a driving tour from the north side of Folsom all the way down to the south side of Folsom.
All right, so first off, we want to start by telling you about where Folsom is located in proximity to Sacramento. So Folsom is located about a 30 to 35 minute drive east from Sacramento along Highway 50 as you're headed towards Lake Tahoe. Now, one thing about this awesome area and one of the many reasons that people love Folsom, California is that it's very different from a lot of the other suburbs in our area.
So we're gonna be actually doing things in a little bit of reverse. So if you're coming into the Sacramento Metro and you're wanting to check out Folsom, most of the time we're gonna start somewhere off of Highway 50, whether you're gonna wanna go south towards Folsom Ranch or you're gonna wanna check out some of the resale options that are gonna be available to you in the north side of Folsom. But today we're gonna start off in the northwest section of Folsom in American River Canyon Drive. And we're gonna take one of the main streets that takes you through from one side of Folsom all the way to the other, stopping along the way and giving you some of our pros and cons. So let's jump right into it. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be starting off in a part of Folsom that doesn't really get a ton of attention. This is actually one of our favorite neighborhoods, but we're gonna start on the opposite side of the river, the opposite side of kind of Lake Natoma. We're gonna be over in the northwest section of Folsom. We're actually gonna be in American River Canyon North. We're at the park and we're gonna head over towards Folsom Ranch. We're gonna be pointing out some of the amenities, some of the cool things to do. We're gonna make 3 different stops along the way, and throughout this video, we're gonna be giving you some of our pros and cons. That way you can see what it's like driving through Folsom. It should take us probably about 25 to 30 minutes to get from one side of town to the other. Alrighty, so as you can kind of see on the GoPro, guys, we are gonna be over on the northwest section of Folsom. This is gonna be one of our favorite communities. It's going to be called American River Canyon North. Now there are a few communities that are going to be on this side of the river and this side of Folsom Dam Road. You've got American River Canyon North, you've got Baldwin Dam Estates, you're going to have American River Canyon South, and we're going to take you through and we're going to go through one of the main intersections as we're driving through town. So this is American River Canyon North. You're gonna see a lot of homes that were built kind of in the late 1990s all the way up until the early 2000s. These are gonna be some luxurious homes. It's not a gated community, but you are going to see homes that are gonna be anywhere from about 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, ranging in size from 4 to 5 bedrooms and 3 to 5 bathrooms. So crossing over Oak Avenue, this is going to be one of the main strips that takes you into Orangevale. There is going to be a small shopping center. There's going to be a little local bar. Kind of the shopping center is a little dead for the most part, but
you've got a Starbucks there, which is a really great Starbucks. It's got a big lobby. It's a great place to go and work. So if you live in this part of town, you are close to that coffee shop, which is really, really nice.
All right, so as we're making the drive down American River Canyon Parkway, we are now located in American River Canyon South. So this side of American River Canyon, it's gonna have a little bit more of a mature feel, and the homes in this area are going to be probably built sometime between the 1960s to the early 1990s. So definitely a little bit older of a feel. This main strip is going to connect you between Oak Avenue, which is going to be kind of the borderline of Orangevale and parts of Granite Bay. and then it's going to connect to the other side of American River Canyon Parkway, which is going to be Greenback. Now, Greenback and Madison in Sacramento County are going to merge together, and then that's going to be your main road, and that's going to take us into Folsom, or one of the main roads that's going to take us into Folsom and connect us over to East Bidwell. And East Bidwell is going to be the main strip, or the main street, that we are going to take today, that's going to take us from one side of town to the other. All right, so now as we're taking a left-hand turn, we're going to be going east on Greenback. Now to our right is going to be one of our absolute favorite things about Folsom, and that first thing is going to be Lake Natoma. So Lake Natoma is going to be the bottom lake that's going to feed from the bottom side of Folsom Lake. It's going to be kind of narrow. It's going to look a little bit more like a river on the map, but this is one of our favorite places to come paddleboarding or come kayaking. It's a great place to head out to in the summertime when it's super hot in Sacramento. And if you want to get a lake pass that gets you into Folsom and some of these other California state parks, you can get it for about $125. It's great entertainment in the summertime with the kids. You know, a lot of times they like to go out and just kind of cruise on this paddleboard. A lot of times they like to come out and cruise on this lake. There's no motorized boats that's going to be on this lake, and it's a little bit less choppy as it relates to some of that stuff. Now, there are going to be two main ways to get into Folsom. One way going south is going to take you down Folsom Auburn Road, and that is going to be one of the entrances that connects you to Highway 50. And then the other entrance that we're going to go to is going to be it's going to be Greenback Lane, which is going to take us into Old Town Folsom, one of our first stops that we're going to take you to, and it's going to turn into Riley Street.
So as we get into this part of town, you start to see more gas stations. You also start to see more restaurants. So a really cool place that just recently opened up on the right is going to be Crawdads on the Lake. They have awesome food here. They have a really great venue. There's really nice patio seating where you can check out anything happening on the lake, which is really, really cool. They do live music there as well. Now we're crossing over Rainbow Bridge. So underneath this bridge is going to be Lake Natoma that Lance was just talking about. This is the waterway where you can go paddle boarding, kayaking, no motorboats on that water again. And then as we pass Rainbow Bridge, we're coming up into historic Folsom, which is going to be the older shops. There's going to be more restaurants, more bars over here. Just a livelier scene. There's more nightlife that happens over here, but that's where we're headed to right now.
So the first stop that we're going to take you on our trip, as we're talking through some of the pros and cons of Folsom, what we really love about Folsom, the first stop is going to be historic Folsom on Sutter Street specifically. So we're going to come back here in a second, but as we kind of drive down Old Town Sutter Street, right, you've got restaurants and bars on both sides of the streets. It's a super awesome place to come down to on a Friday or Saturday night if you want to have a great date night. But they also have a ton of fun events here as well. They have a lot of really cool things that go on that make Old Town Folsom really an awesome place to check out. They've got a nice little amphitheater. They've got a nice little cute ice cream shop, a candy shop, tons of really cool little shops to check out down here.
All right, so let's start off with one pro and one con about Folsom. Now, my one pro, and probably one of the main reasons that I love Folsom, California, is going to be the proximity and the closeness that you have to the waterways here, as well as just all of the outdoor awesome, amazing activities. So like we mentioned when we were driving over Rainbow Bridge, you do have Lake Natoma here, which is an awesome place to go paddleboarding or kayaking. They also have a really cool beach access area during the summer months. Now, if you don't own a paddleboard or you don't own a kayak, you can rent them here. It's just a really great, fun summer activity to do with your family. It's a great way to cool off and get out and enjoy the outside heat here. Now, one of the cons to this area for me specifically, and what probably I can't stand the most about Folsom, is going to be the confusing streets and infrastructure, kind of the way they set it up. So, funny story, I've driven out to Folsom a lot for different sporting events for my daughters. Like I've mentioned to you on the channel before, all of my daughters go to school in Granite Bay, but they're heavily involved in sports. So we have to drive out to Folsom and all of the different suburbs a lot for different sporting events. And I always feel like whenever we come out to Folsom, I always plug it into the GPS of where we're going. And it always feels like it takes me on a weird roundabout way because Folsom city streets are not ran in your typical grid-like fashion. They kind of go through and around the hills. Folsom tends to have a little bit more topography when it comes to hills, and roads just kind of weave their way around the city. So it can be a little bit confusing when you're driving around this area. That's probably one of the biggest things that I don't like about Folsom, is just how confusing some of the streets can be and the area can be out here if you're not familiar with the area. Now, we've driven out here a ton and I still get lost when we come out here sometimes. Lance doesn't seem to have that issue, but I definitely do. So it's just one of those things to keep in mind, that the streets out here can be a little bit more confusing because it's not set up in your regular grid-like fashion.
All right, so then that leads us into our second pro and our second con for Folsom. So the second pro that I really love about Folsom is going to be just all of the different city events and the things that Folsom does throughout the year. So currently where we're at right now on Sutter Street, we're at the Zeidel Farm Amphitheater. It's actually a pretty cool little spot because here you have a stage. You've got bands that play here in the summertime on Tuesdays or Fridays, I believe. But it's a very cool little spot. You've got Scott's Seafood that's right there. You've got a nice little wine bar up top. Then as we walk over here a little bit further, I'm gonna flip the camera around. But the other cool thing that I really like, so usually right over there, you've got a nice little ice rink that's put on by the city or a local church. Just in general, historic Folsom or Sutter Street in general is one of my absolute favorite places. So I always feel like there's something that's going on in Folsom, and they do have some other things throughout the rest of Folsom. You know, they have the Folsom Pro Rodeo that's done over in, kind of the old fairground area where they have awesome rodeo that's over there every 4th of July, usually on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They do an awesome fireworks show. Guy skydives into the arena, which is super cool. They do, little music concerts over at the Palladio. So tons of awesome things that you can do. And then, like I was saying, that Sutter Street has a lot of really good restaurants. It's got some of your local bar scenes. So I may or may not confirm that I've shut down a couple of bars in Old Town Folsom a few times in my younger years, but it's definitely one of those cool places to check out. Now, leading us into our second con for Folsom is going to be the fact that Folsom is getting a little bit crowded. Now, we have a lot of you guys that are reaching out to us from the channel that absolutely love Folsom for a ton of different reasons, but with all of the constant growth and all the constant influx of people who are relocating from the Bay Area, from Southern California, or even from out of state, Folsom just tends to be a very hot and popular destination for a lot of you guys who are relocating to this area. So with that being said, it is starting to feel a little bit more crowded. It is starting to have longer wait times at restaurants, a little bit of overcrowding at some of the bars. It always feels busy no matter what time of the week it's going to be. But stay tuned because we are going to continue to take you through the rest of Old Town Folsom. We're going to head over to our next stop and we're going to talk about some of the things along the way. Now, we made a quick little pit stop over at Sutter Street over in historic Folsom. Now, as we're heading back towards Riley Street, which is going to be the main street that's going to connect us over to East Bidwell, on our left-hand side, we do have a super nice hotel. It's called the Lake Natoma Inn. It actually sits on the water on Lake Natoma. And then on the right side, we're actually going to be on the backside of a lot of those businesses that are on Sutter Street, whether it's the Sutter Club or the old Hacienda, some of those older restaurants that are timeless to Folsom. In front of us right now, you can kind of see on the top of that hill is going to be one of the other popular bars called Powerhouse Pub. Usually Friday, Saturday nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, usually they'll have some type of theme music. They'll have a country band. They'll have, cover 80s rock bands, a lot of cool stuff kind of throughout the year. As we're heading south on Riley Street, we're going to be crossing over Lake Natoma. Now, if we go north back towards Folsom Lake, that's actually going to take you over by the Folsom State Prison, which is famous for the Johnny Cash concert. It is also one of the top employers in Folsom because it's one of the places that a lot of people want to move to because of the quality of life Folsom has. They can have a great government state job. So now we're going to be turning left onto East Bidwell, and this is going to take us from the furthest north side of Folsom, and it's going to take us all the way to the furthest south side of Folsom, which is going to end us up in the brand new construction development of all of Folsom Ranch and Russell Ranch.
Now, off to our left, we just passed one of the main middle schools, which is going to be Sutter Middle School. So when you're talking about schools in Folsom, all of the elementary schools are going to be somewhat close. Depending on where you live, they're going to be more local to each neighborhood. However, as you get further on, into the middle schools, you're going to be a little bit further out. But so we just passed the first one.
So now we're on one of the main commercial streets in Folsom. To our north, you're going to have different neighborhoods like Briggs Ranch, Willow Creek Estates, the Parkway, Willow Creek Estates South. And then on the south side, you're going to have neighborhoods like Folsom Heights, Los Cerros, Broadstone, and Prairie Oaks. So that way you can get kind of an idea of where things are at. So there's going to be a lot of different commercial things that are going to be off of East Bidwell. East Bidwell is going to probably be, East Bidwell and Riley Street are probably going to be the two main streets that you're going to use for your grocery shopping, going out to restaurants, whether you're going to, the bowling alley, or you want to go down to Sutter Street. These two streets are going to be the main streets that are going to get you from north and south on Folsom. And then there's going to be obviously a couple of side streets that are going to take you into like Folsom Auburn Boulevard that's going to run along the south side, or the Folsom Dam Road, which is going to be along the north side over by Folsom Lake. So the tough thing about driving through Folsom is there are a lot of stoplights and a lot of street lights from the north side to the south side, or however which way you're going to be going. So on any normal day, it's probably going to take you anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to get from one side of town to the other. Now we're going to get a little bit more into the central section, where you're going to have a Rayleigh's grocery store, a Starbucks, a couple of fast food sandwich shops over on our right side. And then on our left side, you're going to have some bigger box chains. You're going to have a Les Schwab Tire Center. You're going to have a Lowe's department store. And you're going to have a Trader Joe's and a Crunch Fitness on this side. So over to our left, you're going to have some of the additional educational opportunities in Folsom. So we just crossed over Blue Ravine. There's going to be the middle school, the second middle school that's going to be available to all the residents for the city of Folsom.
So also on our left right now, we're passing Dignity Health, which is going to be the main hospital out here for Folsom. So they do have their own hospital in Folsom. Now, if you are a Kaiser member and you need to go to the Kaiser Hospital specifically, you will have to drive out to Roseville, but there are Kaiser and Sutter offices out here for your primary doctors. So coming up on our right side is going to be Broadstone. Now, Broadstone is a really big community or neighborhood within Folsom, California. But the main part of Broadstone is going to be over here, which is going to be around the Racket Club. So if you're somebody who likes to play tennis or wants to be in part of a fitness club like that, Broadstone is a great option. They also run a swim program out of there that's really fun during the summers for kiddos.
One of the things about Folsom that makes it really unique is you're going to have a lot of really mature nature, really kind of throughout the entire city, or at least throughout the entire north section of Folsom that's going to be north of Highway 50. So you're going to see lots of mature trees. You're going to see some new construction as it relates to commercial. You're going to see some gyms. Obviously, there's a couple of different gym facilities throughout Folsom. Folsom has an In-Shape Fitness. They have a 24-hour fitness. They're going to have a Lifetime, one of the only 2 Lifetimes in the Sacramento region. And then they're going to have the Broadstone Racket Club, which Lauren just had mentioned as well.
Now, coming up on our left is going to be Folsom Lake Community College. So Folsom Lake Community College has really grown over the years. Its campus has gotten much larger. They do a bunch of different cool things here aside from it just being a college campus. There's a ton of performing arts shows that you can go and watch here. But if you do have a college-aged kiddo who maybe wants to do 2 years here before they transfer on to a major 4-year, this is a great option, especially if you live in Folsom and if you're trying to cut costs down for your college kiddos.
Now, as we continue to head south, we're going to be crossing over like Clarksville Road and Scholar Way, and then now we're going to get kind of into a secondary section of shopping that's going to be in Folsom. So on our right hand side, you're going to have kind of a mega shopping center. It's going to have a Home Depot. It's going to have a couple of fast food restaurants, a PetSmart, a Famous Footwear, an Old Navy, a World Market. You've got a Mimi's Cafe. And then on the opposite side of the street is going to be kind of another newer shopping center that came to Folsom kind of in the early 2000s when a lot of this stuff was being built out. You're going to have a Land Ocean. You're going to have a BJ's Pizza. You're going to have another grocery store that's going to be on the left-hand side. It's going to be a Bel Air Market, which is the sister grocery store for Rayleigh's. And that leads us into our next section of Folsom, which is going to be really all of the Palladio and the newer shopping that came to Folsom kind of in the early 2000s.
So our next stop is going to be at the Folsom Palladio, which is what we're driving past right now. Now the Folsom Palladio is where most of the people in Folsom come to get all of their shopping done. You've got a ton of different stores here, as well as different restaurants here. You've got a Nordstrom Rack, you've got Sephora, you've got Lazy Dog, you've got Chicago Fire, you've got a Starbucks, you've got a movie theater. So this is really just like a big outdoor shopping mall, which is really, really convenient if you live in Folsom to be able to come here and get a lot of your either back to school shopping or holiday shopping done depending on the season.
Yeah, this is going to be mainly the anchor point for a lot of people that are going to be on the south side of 50 that don't want to make the trip all the way over to the Westfield Galleria Mall. So while the Westfield Galleria Mall is indoors and it's more of your traditional mall, this is kind of more of your when the weather is perfect. Now, you know, Sacramento or Folsom, we do have about 275 days a year of sunshine. So most of the time this mall is completely sufficient for a lot of people as it relates to what they're trying to do. If they're trying to, you know, go out and go just get some extra activity, or they're actually trying to do their shopping, you're going to have a lot of different amenities in here. Now, of course, in the winter time, if it's raining, you're probably not going to want to come to visit this mall too often, but it's definitely going to be the better of the two options if you have to come all the way out to Folsom, or if you're not wanting to make the drive all the way out to Roseville.
The next pro for Folsom, California is definitely going to be the amount of shopping they have here. Now, we can't come to the Palladio and not talk about all of the awesome shopping that Folsom has. So it's really, really nice because in some other suburbs of Sacramento, you're either traveling to Folsom to do your shopping, or you'll be traveling to Roseville to do your shopping. So if you live in Folsom, it's nice that you don't have to leave the city to get a lot of your errands done or to get any of your retail shopping done, because they do have the Palladio. They also have the Folsom Premium Outlets. So really, you don't have to leave the city to get any of those types of things done, which is really, really nice. So the Palladio has a ton of different stores to offer. They have retail clothing stores. They have a ton of different restaurants. They've got a movie theater here. You've got stores like H&M, you've got Sephora, you've got a Nordstrom Rack. You've got a ton of really cute little boutique stores that are specific to this area, which is really, really nice. So if you have to do your back to school shopping or your Christmas shopping, or you just need to go get an awesome outfit for a girls' night out, you can definitely accomplish all of that right here in Folsom, California. On top of the Palladio, you also have the Folsom Premium Outlets, which is really, really nice. So the Folsom Premium Outlets have a ton of different stores. They have just about every premium outlet that you can think of. They have a Banana Republic outlet, they have a Nike outlet, they have an Under Armour outlet, they have a Tommy Bahama, they have tons of stores over there as well. So if you aren't finding what you're needing in the Palladio, you can always head over to the Folsom Premium Outlets, which is really, really nice. Now, let me share with you another con about Folsom. Now, a con for Folsom is definitely going to be there's a limited nightlife here. Now, you can find things to do at night, like we mentioned earlier. You can always go hang out on Sutter Street. They have a small little bar scene there where there's different music and things that'll happen on the weekends. But when it comes to getting out and being out late in this town, a lot of things are going to close down around 9, 10 o'clock at night. So if you're looking for that later nightlife scene, kind of like what downtown Sacramento has to offer, you're definitely going to not get that here in Folsom. So just keep in mind that nightlife here is a little bit limited. You can find things to do. You don't necessarily have to leave, but you're going to have limited options when it comes to things to do after 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
All right, so Lauren just covered the number 3 pro and the number 3 con. So as we're out here at the Palladio, the number 4 pro that I think a lot of you guys really like about Folsom is going to be the public education system. So I would say about 40 or 50% of the time, a lot of you guys are reaching out to us. And one of the main things that you guys are looking for in a new community when you guys are making the move to Sacramento is going to be the education system for your family or for your kids. Now, the nice thing about Folsom is that Folsom has one of the top rated public education systems in all of the Sacramento Metro, which means that for a lot of you guys, when you guys decide to move here, you're not having to pay for private school or private school tuition for your kids. And so that's kind of a really nice feature or a really nice element to that. So that's actually a really nice feature, is because for some of you guys, you guys have said that you guys were paying about $25,000 a year for private tuition because the school ratings in the areas that you guys are coming from are not that great. Now, the nice thing is at the time of recording this video, both of the high schools are rated a 10 out of 10 based off of greatschools.org. Both of the middle schools, I believe, are 7s or 8s, and then the elementary schools are rated anywhere between a 7 to a 9. So there's a pretty good chance that if you decide to move to most anywhere in the Folsom city limits, your kid's probably going to be going to a really good school district. Now, that's going to lead me to our number 4 con. And the number 4 con for Folsom is going to be the affordability. Now, we just did a video about the cost of living last week, and for the greater Sacramento metro area, the average price for a home is around $542,000. But Folsom, California is going to be well above that average. So because it has such high popularity and such high demand, mainly for the public amenities, the schooling, the public education, the average home price in Folsom is going to be much higher than the average home price in the Sacramento metro. So, you know, we have a lot of people that are coming to the area. They're wanting to either look at new construction or they're wanting to look at some of the resales that are in the Folsom area. So it does tend to be a little bit more competitive than some of the other areas in the Sacramento metro. And the average price point is going to be a little bit higher for a single family home. Or if you're thinking about renting up front before you decide to purchase your home, the rental market is going to be a little bit higher than maybe other parts of the greater Sacramento metro. So one of those things that you want to keep in mind if you're thinking about making the move to Folsom, California.
So this whole time we've pretty much been on East Bidwell. Now we are headed over 50 right now towards Folsom Ranch, which is going to be the newest part of Folsom where all the new construction is going on. Over here to my right, there's going to be a brand new UC Davis Health Center that they're currently building. They'll be opening sometime in 2025. So there is more medical facilities coming out to the south side of Folsom. So now that we're past the freeway, we're starting to come into Folsom Ranch, which is going to be where all of the new construction is. So there's tons of different builders out here. This is a major master plan community with different trails that run through it. There's tons of different builders out here. You've got parks that are being built into the new construction home sites out here as well. So this is going to have a completely different feel. As you can see, there's not really a lot of trees because they just planted them. So it's going to take a little bit of time for this side to have that more lush and luxurious feel that the northern side of Folsom has. Now, over to my left, you do have a small little strip mall where you've got a couple of restaurants that have gone in. They have a Starbucks that just went in. There's a pizza place, but other than that, that's pretty much it for your food on this side of 50. So for grocery stores and everything, you will have to travel back to the north side over 50.
So the cool thing I would say about Folsom Ranch is Folsom Ranch is going to be one of the top 5 areas as it relates to new construction in the entire Sacramento metro. However, I will say that Folsom Ranch probably also has the most diversity of options as it relates to builder and the type of building quality that they have. So you're going to have everything from Tri-Point to Toll Brothers, Taylor Morrison, Beazer Homes, KB Homes. You have a lot of different variety out here as it relates to some of that new construction. Now, all of this stuff used to be just open fields. This actually wasn't even a part that was connected to Folsom at any given part of time. But now that they've started to develop it, it's turned into Folsom Ranch. That's going to be kind of here more around East Bidwell, and then up on the hill as we're going back towards El Dorado Hills. You're going to have more stuff that's going to be related to Russell Ranch, which is going to be a slightly higher end community than Folsom Ranch, but not by much. Now, we flipped around for a real quick second, but we're towards the end of East Bidwell as we're approaching White Rock Road. Now, directly in front of us, as we're pointed towards the gate entrance to Toll Brothers Regency out here, which is going to be their 55 and up community. Absolutely gorgeous community that's going to be for the 55 and better. So as we're approaching White Rock Road, if you take White Rock Road back west towards Sacramento, That's going to take you all the way into some of the new construction that's going to be down in Rancho Cordova. And then if we take it east, back up towards El Dorado Hills, it's going to be another road that'll take you into some of the new construction that's going to be happening in El Dorado Hills as well too.
All right, so our last pro for Folsom, California is going to be that there is a ton of new construction out here. So if you're looking to make the move to the greater Sacramento metro and you want to be in Folsom and you want a brand new home, you can definitely find that out here. Now, not only is there a ton of new construction happening out here in Folsom, California, you have a bunch of different builders to choose from. Now, one of the things about the new construction out here in Folsom is that you are a little bit further out, being on the south side of 50. But you do have a bunch of different builders that you can choose from. There is a brand new 55 and up community out here. So if you're looking for a 55 and better only community, you can buy a brand new home there. There's also a bunch of different builders with a ton of different options and really a wide variety of prices when it comes to new construction out here. So if you're looking for something that's, you know, $1 million plus and more of that luxury style, you've got Toll Brothers, which is the community that we're at right now. You can kind of see behind me some of the new homes that are going up. Now you also have Taylor Morrison. Now if you're looking for something a little bit more budget friendly, you've got Taylor Morrison. You've also got KB Homes out here. You've got Tri-Point that still has some homes left. I know that they're kind of finishing up that development. But there's a ton of different options when it comes to new construction out here. Now keep in mind that new construction homes over in the Folsom area, you're going to be a little bit closer together. In Folsom Ranch, they do kind of pack these homes in a little bit more. The lot sizes are a little bit smaller, but some of these lots are going to have lot premiums where you can find a bigger lot if you're willing to pay for it. So if you want a larger backyard, you can still find that out here too. But there's just so many different options when it comes to new construction in Folsom. You're really not limited by what you can find. The biggest thing is just going to be the budget and the different builders that are offering the different things out here. So there is a ton of options for new construction. We would love to show you around some of these beautiful new construction homes. We've done a ton of different home tours out here at all of the different builders. You can find those on our channel. If there's a certain builder that you're looking for and you want to be in Folsom, you can go ahead and leave a comment below or reach out to us. We have really great relationships with all of these builders and we would love to take you around and show you what they have to offer in Folsom.
All right, so Lauren just gave you our 5th pro. I'm gonna give you the 5th con for Folsom. Now, this last con is gonna be more tailored towards the new construction areas of Folsom Ranch. It's really not gonna apply to all of Folsom, but the 5th con that I'm gonna talk about is going to be the lack of amenities, specifically out here in Folsom Ranch. So you guys are calling us, you guys are reaching out to us, you guys love the new construction videos that we do for you guys here. And it is hot out here right now. There's not a ton of trees. You got some of these like little baby trees out here that just don't really give you too much shade. But one of the things that we're experiencing right now in Folsom Ranch is a total lack of amenities. So right when you get off of Highway 50 in East Bidwell, you do have a small shopping center. You got a sandwich shop, you've got a pizza shop, you got a new Starbucks that's going in there right now. And just on the other side of 50, you do have some of your more traditional amenities. But right now we are experiencing a massive lack of amenities. So aside from that, grocery shopping, Costco, Target, Palladio, all that stuff, you're gonna have to go to the north side of Interstate 50 or Highway 50 to get some of your basic amenities. So if you forget milk, or you've got to make a quick run to the store for your family or your kids for whatever reason, you're gonna have to be trekking across to the north side of 50. So if you're in Russell Ranch or if you're in parts of Folsom Ranch, that can be a long ways away for you guys to make it all the way up there. So it definitely is a further drive to get some of those things. So stick around because I am gonna jump on the map real quick before we finish up this video, talk to you about some other monumental landmarks or some other roads that you may need to focus on if you're thinking about making the move to Folsom. So stick around real quick and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so before we finish up this video, I wanted to hop on the map real quick, just kind of show you where we started at, where we were headed down to, and a couple of the other roads as it relates to where you can get on and off the freeway. Because I know a lot of times we started in the top left corner of Folsom, across the river or across Lake Natoma, and a lot of you guys are actually coming in from the airport. So you guys are most likely going to be coming in from Highway 50. So we're going to be looking at the screen here real quick. Now on the map, we started over here on the kind of northwest corner of Folsom, which is going to be American River Canyon North. and we came across, we came all the way down in through to Greenback, and then we came across Rainbow Bridge. We made a pit stop into historic Folsom, and then we took historic Folsom and we really kind of came all the way up through East Bidwell, which is going to be the main road that's going to take you from the north side of Folsom all the way to the south side of Folsom. Now this road is probably, I mean, with lights, it took us about 30 to 35 minutes to get through there, and then that's going to take you all the way out to White Rock Road, which is going to be where all the new construction is happening. Now there are going to be a couple of other roads that are going to be predominant, or they're going to be mainly really popular roads that you're going to use. Now, if we're looking at this from the opposite side, we've got Highway 50 down here, which is going to be on the bottom, and that's going to be kind of the thing that splits original Folsom from Folsom Ranch. So before Folsom Ranch, everything used to be north of Highway 50 between 50 and Folsom Lake. But you are going to have a few exits that you can come off of. So you are going to have the exit at Folsom Auburn. That's going to be your first exit as you're coming in. And there is going to be a road that takes you into historic Folsom, and that's going to take you across kind of the new bridge. And that's going to be one way that you can get in there, right? We talked about East Bidwell, which is going to be this main road here that we went down, and that's going to be an exit as well. Then the next exit that you're going to have as you're coming into highway, now the next exit that you're going to have as you're coming into Folsom is going to be Prairie City Road. Now that's going to be pretty close to kind of where the Intel campus is at. It's going to be pretty close to where the original Folsom High School is at, and that's going to take you all the way into the central part of Folsom as well. And then from there, those are going to be pretty much your three main exits. Now, if you're coming from, let's say, Granite Bay or Roseville, a lot of times it'll take us in through Auburn Folsom Road, which comes all the way down here, and it connects all the way through to that bridge. But if you're coming in, or you've got to go to El Dorado Hills, or you're trying to bypass some of that stuff, this is where Lauren kind of gets confused with a lot of the traffic, because a lot of times we're coming from the Roseville area or the Granite Bay area, and it's going to have us take the Folsom Lake crossing, which is going to take you, it's kind of like the old Folsom Dam Road, but it's going to take you right past Folsom Dam, and it's going to bring you towards the north part. And you can take this all the way up and across, and there's going to be several streets that are going to drop you into Folsom. So you have a lot of different entrances into Folsom, and it can start to get a little confusing. Now, we only took you through one of the main streets, but this is going to give you a pretty prime example. Now, for right now with Folsom Ranch, you're pretty much going to have East Bidwell. You're going to have a couple of streets that are going to take you into Russell Ranch, but for the most part, not super confusing yet. All right, so that was our entire tour from the north side of Folsom all the way through the south side of Folsom, with a little bit of a map tour at the end of that video.
Now, if you like anything that you saw today, or maybe one area or one part of Folsom maybe speaks to you a little bit more and you want to learn more information, or maybe none of these areas spoke to you in Folsom and maybe you like a different area that we've showcased on the channel, definitely make sure that you reach out to us. We are realtors, and we, as much as we love making these videos, we really love helping you guys with your move to the greater Sacramento Metro. So that phone number should be popping up. We do answer every single phone call, email, and text message, and we would love to hop on a Zoom call with you and get to know you a little bit more, get to know your story, and help you figure out which is going to be the best area for you and your family's needs.